Hi. So today I'm very excited because I have a special guest. With me is S.I.S.T.A.H. She is a bi and queer affirmative therapist. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And I'm so excited because today I'm going to be able to talk about a topic which I have been wanting to talk about for a while, but I can't because let's just say I don't have the right assets to talk about it, which is...
And I do.
You do. Which is, as you might have guessed, being a bisexual woman.
Yeah.
And today's video, we're going to talk about specifically what bi girls should expect when coming out. And I think before we start, we should say that there are no rules.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, your experiences might be different from someone else's, but we want to give you some sort of general idea of what you can expect and kind of like how to deal with it as you're working through life. Mm-hmm. So tell me.
I want to start off with that it's getting better, hopefully.
Oh, that's so true.
Big conversations are happening generationally, I think, and there's a big difference. I know you wanted to talk about that a little.
Well, I do know that the CDC, I've mentioned in another video, the CDC recently showed that 10% of all high school girls are currently identifying as bisexual, which is mind-blowing. Yeah. I'm not of the high school generation. I am of an earlier generation. I gotta say, in my school, it's probably like 0.
Yeah, 0.
Close to 0%? Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 0.
So the fact that it's so much changed is just kind of incredible.
Yeah. I want to talk about when you come out, some might expect an explanation, but you don't have to give one to anyone. True. You get to choose who you're explaining more to, who you might choose to explain less to.
And why would you want to choose? Why would you choose to not explain something to someone?
I think that there are spaces that are safer. There are people that are safer. There are people that we trust more. People that we may want to protect us. Maybe we'll explain ourselves more.
How do parents fall like in that? Like how could it end up with the parents or someone you should tell, and parents are someone you shouldn't tell?
Yeah, and I want to be careful about the word should and shouldn't too.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent's different. I don't know. Every family is different. So
Safe.
it's hard to generalize, I think.
I think if you know them to be accepting and open, that might be be a safe space to come out to. Mm-hmm. Or if you've heard them say crazy things in the past, maybe you wait before you come out with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a reason why some of us wait longer. Right?
Yeah, or really long in some cases. just saying. So what else should they expect?
Expect to have some doubt, right? Every day might be different when you're first coming out, right? You're still kind of like to say that we're baking this cake, right? And we put the icing on and that's maybe our label. But the cake is still baking, we're putting ingredients in, we're figuring it out. It might look different for you day in, day out. It doesn't make it any less true for you, but doubts are expected, I think.
And I think that even once you have decided that you are bi, and years have gone by, if you end up in a relationship with someone other than your, primary attraction, if you had a primary attraction, you might have doubts. You might start saying that, oh no, I think I'm now straight. I've gone through that phase and I'm now straight, or I think I'm now gay. But it's okay to have doubts.
Yeah.
And
give yourself space and time for the doubts.
Yeah, there's no pressure, man. There's no pressure. And is there other
expect that there will be assumptions. And it's only the beginning of assumptions. I hate to say it.
This is true.
But it's kind of true. Expect that there will be people that do not understand bisexuality to be about who you love and not just about who you're sleeping with.
And that reflects itself in various ways. They're often not pleasant. But if you keep in mind that this might happen, it kind of protects you from it when something like that does happen. Because bisexuality, and an honest thing is, yes, there's a sexual element to bisexuality, but there's an even larger element of love in bisexuality. And there are people who just don't get it because they haven't been educated enough about it.
There's a sexual element to all of our sexual identities, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what we identify as.
Absolutely.
Know that you can surround yourself by friends that affirm you, right? And understand your bisexuality to be unique to you and understand it as more than just sex and who you're hooking up with.
So true. So true. There are groups that are online. Like even if you don't have anyone in your straight circle that might be a friend, there are certainly groups online. The comment section of these videos are often very affirmative for bisexuals who are asking questions and stuff. What would you say about talking to school counselors?
Talking to school counselors, hopefully it's helpful. I work in a school that's very progressive, that we're very lucky to have the education we have around these issues. Just because you're talking to a school counselor does not mean they will be bi-affirmative necessarily.
That's very true.
Great if you have that support in someone. But I also think there's a lot of unchecked assumptions and biases within therapists' world too.
So true. And that is why I was clear to point out she's a bi-affirmative, a bi and queer affirmative therapist.
Yeah.
Because it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
Are there other expectations or?
Know that you will be dealing with a binary, right? So we mean gay versus straight, the monosexual community, right? If we're somewhere in between, the binary can be really, really, really challenging. So try to create a space outside of the binary, whatever that looks like for you, non-binary friends, non-binary groups. Find someone who will help you carry the burden of living between this binary somewhere.
Right.
It can get so exhausting to keep fighting this fight and explaining it to everyone.
So true. And if you also identify as queer, there are queer spaces that you can find. If you identify as, well, as a mostly straight person, it's a little more challenging. But surround yourselves with friends and people who affirm you, who tell you that, you know, what you are is good and legitimate. That's very helpful.
Yeah. That you are real, right?
That you are real.
No rule book for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how about, we talk about affirmative people. What about the LGBT community? Because it's taught, we are all taught that we should go out looking for the LGBT community as soon as we come out, because that's where we're going to find the support that we're looking for. What do you think about that?
I think it's a myth. I don't think it's true. But I do feel like I thought that, definitely. And I even came out later. I didn't come out till my 20s. And I think it's even more true that we have this idea, or I see teenagers have an idea that they're going to get support in the LGBTQ community. Not necessarily true.
No, it isn't. And you know, if you see my other videos, you know I talk quite a bit about taking the B out of LGBT. But I also like to add, there are a lot of really great LGBT groups out there. I know, I can't talk about them specifically because there are too many. So just be cautious when you're reaching out to the LGBT community. Don't expect that everything's going to go right, everything's going to go well. Know that you can get support, and there are sometimes resources, and some LGBT centers are really wonderful about it, but you can't assume that everything will go well there.
Yeah, so maybe adjust your expectations a little.
Yeah.
Also leave room for people to surprise you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Straight people, gay people.
All of them.
All of them. Other bisexuals, really.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful
Sure.
thing, too, when you think something's going to go a different way, and you're like, oh, nervous and stuff, and then you mention something, and it ends up going wonderfully.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's a very affirming sort of experience.
Yeah, maybe you won't have to explain yourself all the time. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Being positive, yeah.
Yeah, trying to. Know that bisexuality is common, and we talked about it. It's getting better. It's kind of trending.
It is.
Kind of trending. Know that people may want to try to use this against you to make your identity seem less real or less yours and less authentic. Not necessarily true.
No, and I think that especially like in high schools nowadays, as I mentioned before, 10% of all high school girls are identifying as bisexual. And that's a good thing in the fact that it's bringing visibility, which makes it easier for you to live your life. But it also means that there might be backlash.
Yeah.
Where some groups are just feeling they're made to feel invisible because other people are made to feel visible. You just kind of have to protect yourself against that. Just kind of surround yourself once again with affirmative, strong people.
And advocate always for education too.
Oh, absolutely.
Always advocate and help enrich the education in your community, wherever that is.
Yeah, I think it starts with educating yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And then from there, you could perhaps be the source of education for other people.
Yeah. And have other people to help you do the job.
Exactly. Yes. Well, thank you so much for talking about this with me.
Thank you.
I think this has been very educational. If anyone wanted to get a hold of you, if they had questions, how would they go about doing that?
I have a website, anaisplaskidas.com. You can see my sexuality education tab as well as my personal therapy tab.
And I'll go ahead and I'll put a link to that in the description below.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to support the channel, please feel free to check out my t-shirts on Teespring. Also, I mentioned previously, if you want to follow along with the bisexual clothing company that I'm doing, you can follow the link, the Instagram link in the description below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I do many videos on bisexual topic, but I don't do them on a regular basis, but I do them frequently. So if you want to know when a new video comes out, you have to click on the subscribe button and click on the little bell, and that will tell YouTube to let you know when a new video comes out. Till next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friend. Stay cooler. Bye.